I just caught my fiancée, 31-year-old Beyoncé, in bed with my father, 54. I'm 29. I don't even know where to start. This has been by far the most surreal, disturbing experience of my life. It happened just 2 days ago, and I still feel trapped in a nightmare. I apologize in advance of the length. I haven't told anyone about this, and I just needed an outlet. My fiancée and I had been together for 6 years, and I proposed to her in January last year. We were supposed to marry in June, but then the pandemic hit. I didn't mind a modest wedding, but she insisted on waiting for her dream wedding. We planned to marry later this year, but those plans now feel completely meaningless. About 4 months ago, she started acting strangely. She became distant, less affectionate, and increasingly secretive. Coming home late, obsessively guarded her phone, lying about where she'd been. I never suspected infidelity at first. I thought she was simply having second thoughts about marrying me. When I asked, she claimed she was just overworked after promotion. Around the same time, she grew unusually close to my father. I didn't think anything of it. Who worries about a fiancé and father bonding? My parents divorced years ago due to his adultery. He's wealthy and narcissistic. But seeing him with my fiancée now made me uneasy in ways I didn't understand at the time. We were planning to spend Christmas with my mom and siblings. She made up an excuse about wanting to see her relatives and needing to work, insisting I travel alone while we'd spend New Year's Eve together. I agreed. I hadn't seen my mother in a long time. Coincidentally, my father was leaving town at the same time. I started wondering if they had spent that time together. My siblings and I traditionally alternate holidays between my parents because they cannot stand being around each other. I had no reason to suspect cheating until she started receiving calls from a number saved under her best friend's name, Karen. Even stranger, these calls happened when we were out with Karen herself and her husband. Karen was right there. My fiancée wasn't on her phone, and when I looked from the phone to her, her expression was the most guilty I've ever seen. I questioned her on the way home. She claimed it was another Karen from work. I asked to see her phone. She refused, accusing me of violating her privacy and unfairly accusing her. I pressed, citing her recent suspicious behavior, but she insisted the calls and messages were private. I mistakenly let it go. Fast forward to the present. Her behavior only worsened. I was supposed to leave for a business trip on Monday, but my flight was canceled due to snowstorms. When I got home, I noticed my father's car parked outside. I assumed he was just passing through. Inside, though, I didn't see him or my fiancée. I called out, and I heard movement upstairs. She seemed agitated, instructing me to wait below. When I asked where my father was, she claimed ignorance, though his car was right outside. My bedroom door was locked, and when I begged her to open it, she refused, insisting she was getting ready. It hadn't even crossed my mind what could be happening. But then it clicked. Something was very wrong. I kicked the door down. I wish I hadn't seen what I saw. My father was fumbling with his trousers, while my fiancée was barely dressed. I was utterly shocked, completely stunned. My fiancée laughed hysterically, shouting something like, "It's not what it looks like." I stared at my father, overwhelmed with rage. I briefly considered attacking him, but I couldn't. I was too exhausted, too defeated. I grabbed my bag and drove away. She tried to stop me, even attempting to jump into my car. I drove to a motel and have stayed here since, ignoring calls and messages from them and other family members. I haven't spoken to anyone. I've spent the last 2 days weeping and drinking, completely lost. I don't understand why they would do this to me. Why him? Why her? Has anyone experienced something similar? And if so, how did you find the strength to move on? Story 2. I hate myself for posting this, but I need to get off my chest. I come from a Nordic country, and the last 6 months have been devastating. I've taken on more responsibility at work, become the primary breadwinner, and am managing a €37,000 EU Commission project while also being active in local politics. My family supports me, but most of my extended family has passed. I lost my mother at 23. My first marriage ended after she cheated on me. I spent 8 years unmarried, finishing my degree abroad. I relocated to start over but was unhappy. Work was overwhelming, and I developed a drinking problem due to stress. I sought help, but after 13 hours in the ER, I was told it was all in my head. Even my supervisor delayed a promotion because of this. 3 years later, I'm doing well at work and have been married to my current wife for 2 years. We dated nearly a year before getting engaged, and I'm happy. Meanwhile, my father, now 78, was diagnosed with malignant prostate cancer. I contacted my other brother for guidance. 2 weeks later, my son was born. My father's side of the family visited, and my brother held my newborn while we laughed together. But 3 weeks later, at 12:20 a.m., I got a call from my father. My brother had died of a heart attack on his way home from work. Paramedics arrived immediately, but they couldn't save him. My world shattered. I took 3 days off work, but responsibilities pulled me back in. I care for my nephew, my father, and maintain work demands. I'm 35, never met several grandparents, and have only my father and nephew left from my original family. I feel completely lost. Yet, I have a wonderful wife and an amazing child. I want to give them everything. Even though I fear I have little time with my elderly father, I just needed to put this down somewhere. Thank you for reading.